Good job.
Yeah, the mic's on.
She's going to get one for you, ma'am.
Yeah, they should hear everything we're saying.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Ascension Board of Adjustments now called to order. My name is James Cecil. Roll call of members. Vice Chairman Mr. Howard Dalton.
I'm here.
Mr. Brad Walker.
Here.
And Miss Kathy Desidere.
Here.
So we've met the quorum fact. At this time, I'm going to open up for the public comment period. Okay, let me explain that. Public comment period is where you're able to say what you would like to see happen in Ascension Parish, what you want to see changes of, what complaints you have about this board, what complaints that you have, anything else that pertains not to the subject matter that you're here for, like anything on the agenda. So, we have anybody who would like to make a public comment right now? No one?
This is about anything that's going to happen tonight?
No, sir.
Okay.
This just gives you an opportunity, excuse me, give you an opportunity to tell us what bothers you about Ascension Parish.
Well, this has something to do with...
Well, why don't you hold that until then that's called on the agenda, and I will give you that opportunity because we have public comment periods during each one of those agenda items. Okay? Okay. Anybody else? No one? Okay. I'd like to have a motion to accept the minutes for the March 27th of 2006 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
That's 2007, I'm sorry. And also, I would like to have the motion to accept the written decisions for the March 2007.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Moving on with the agenda items. First on the agenda tonight is ID number 1700.07. That's for Miss Shirley B. Wagasback. It's located on the east side of Bork Road, approximately 1,600 feet north of LA 621. Are they in the audience tonight? Step forward, please. There's a sign-in sheet. I would like everybody to sign in before they approach the podium. That sign-in sheet is located, that's a yellow pad over here with a pen. Once you get to the podium, please state your name and the reason for the request.
My name is Leroy J. Wagasback Jr. Shirley Wagasback is my mother. The reason for our zoning review request was to reduce the minimum lot frontage feet on the these particular lots of land to decrease, to be able to maximize the use of the lots.
Okay. Any questions from any of the board members before I open up the public hearing? Go ahead, man.
The lot y'all trying to split, is that just going to be about the same size as the other one?
Yes.
The other ones that are around it?
Yes. There's a 4-foot variance that we're asking for. We would either have to have one huge lot, or we're trying to maximize the use of the 3 by asking for the 4-foot variance on those 2 lots to 86 feet.
Well, I think what we're asking is the other lots, the other owners, and the other homes that are surrounding you. Basically, do you know approximately what their frontage is?
They were retroed in before the law, so they were a little less.
Okay.
They were like an 85.
Like on the
She has
map, it
another
has like a
lot.
Bonnie Williams, a Rosette Villeneuve, and Kevin Cannon on this map that I'm looking at. All those are the lots you're dividing in about the same size as those?
Yes, sir.
Any other further questions before I open up public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing?
Public hearing is now open. Anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of or against this gentleman's request? No one?
Motion to close public hearing?
Public hearing is now closed. Any further questions by these board members?
I would move that we approve as written. It's consistent with the harmony and character of the surrounding neighborhood.
Second.
Any opposition? No opposition? Motion carries. Variance is granted, sir. Next on the agenda, Lot BB2A of Byron Bro property for Elizabeth Orrs, located on the east side of Palmer Road, approximately 400 feet north of LA Highway 938. Sign in, please, ma'am. Always nice to have the signs. Are you Elizabeth?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to put 2 mobile homes in this lot. I got a child that is disabled, and he wants to be a little bit independent, so he wants to have his own mobile home.
Is that your full statement, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Any questions by this board?
Your home is the only existing home currently on your lot?
It's nothing in there. It used to be a mobile home there.
No, what I'm asking, is there an existing trailer there?
No.
So there's no trailer where there's a picture of a trailer?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
What you asking? What is that proposed? Is that
No, I mean-
proposed site?
No.
This
What we
map
have
right here,
shows a
this map
house
right
and
here that we're
trailer.
looking at. You're talking about splitting here. There's a picture of a
Yes, sir.
house here, and then a picture of a mobile home
No,
here.
it used to be a mobile home there, but they moved it. They used
This
to
one right
lease
here is
the
gone.
land.
You're saying? Okay.
Well, I have a problem with that because in the write-up here for staff comments, line 3. Okay.
Remember you had-
Scratch that out. Switch over to the corrected one. Okay, so there's nothing on there.
No, there's no existing.
But they're 2 separate lots, so
Why would we do a variance on a lot?
why are we doing a variance if it's a separate lot?
Because it's this is on BB2A. It's not on BB1A and BB2A. It's only on BB2A.
Yeah, but BB2A, she's saying doesn't have anything on it. Are you talking about putting 2 trailers on that one lot? Okay.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Is there not a trailer on BB2A?
It used to be a trailer because the previous owner used to rent the lot, and it was a mobile home there.
But it's a vacant lot now?
Yes,
So how many trailers are you wanting to bring on BB2A?
2.
Okay, you said something about your son. Now, who else are you wanting?
My son have his own mobile home, and I have my own mobile home, and we want to put
Okay,
both of
so
them there.
you don't live in the house already?
No, because we still don't move to the land. We just purchased the land.
Oh, okay, okay.
What it is the land was rented by a man that used to own his mobile home, but once we bought the land, he moved out.
Okay.
He took his mobile home.
Go ahead and ask your question, Ms. Brad.
No, let's go open public hearing.
Go ahead, open.
Motion to open public
Wait a
hearing.
minute. I can leave the public hearing open. We've got a second on, Ms. Desider, you want a second to public
I'll
hearing?
second it.
Thank you. Public hearing is now open, but before we go to the public hearing, would you like to make a
Can
statement?
I get a comment from zoning and planning staff as I'm looking at the application that was handwritten, okay? And none of this really spells out, well, it does, so we're talking strictly about lot BB2A, is that correct?
Yes.
Correct. Okay, just make sure, because that's kind of lost in the shuffle here. The only place that seems to appear is on the original application, that specification.
That's
That
correct.
clears it up. Thank you.
Okay, anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of or against this young lady's request? Please sign in, sir, and step forward to the podium. Ma'am, could you step back, please? If there's anybody else that wants to speak in favor of or against, please make sure that you sign in before approaching the podium. And when you approach the podium, I want you to state your name because I need it for the record, okay? Go ahead, sir. Your name?
Yes, I'm Robert Philippi. I live next door to the property in question. My information is that in this area of the parish has a population density of 3 dwellings per acre, and this lot is less than a half an acre, I believe, from the information that I was given, and that's even at 3 per acre, to me, for the area, it's a little more dense than we would care for. But these, the zones have been put in place. So I would request that you continue to maintain the same zoning there. Particularly in this case here, whenever we're looking at, if it was just a few feet short, that'd be an issue. But we're like 50% short, or something to that effect, quite a bit there. And I may also point out that across the street from this exact spot, 2 trailers have been put in since the hurricane. Those people were able to live within the requirements. So I think the requirements keep a community in good shape there. So
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Anyone? Yes, you want to ask him the question?
Not him, more legal.
Okay, go ahead.
The only thing on here on the zoning requirement is the units per family, not anything as far as boundaries or anything like that. Is it just that there's going to be 2 families on it is the only thing that they're asking for a variance on?
It'll be 2 residents.
There'll be 2 residents on that size lot.
But as far as, build line and things like that on the sides and everything like that, they're going to meet that?
It does not seem to be, at this point, drawn out from the lot that I can see, they can get the 2 trailers on there and not violate, let's assume they're standard size trailers. You get them on there and not violate get on the right-of-ways or the setback lines. That wouldn't be the issue. What the issue is 2 individual single-family dwellings on that size lot in that area.
Okay.
Any further questions before I go ahead and move other individuals up? Other questions? Who wants to be next? State your name, please, sir.
Yes, my name is Lloyd Landry, and I live directly to the side of the lot in question, on the north side of that lot. I assume that if they're going to put 2 trailers on there, they're going to be one behind the other, because looking at the lot, I don't think there's any possible way you could put 2 trailers side by side. Is that correct? Or you don't know yourself? Because the trailer that was there
They
before,
don't exist yet, and
the
I'm
trailer
not.
that was there before almost stretched from property line to property line.
They would have to be. They would have to be meet the requirement. However, they stagger the trailers.
Okay.
They would have to still meet the requirements.
For sewage and so forth, because right now there's only one.
They would still have to meet the requirements. Yes, sir.
Okay, and water facilities. There's no well in that property that I'm aware of. I think they're getting it from some house 2 or 3 properties down.
I'm not real sure
All right,
about
well,
that,
you
to
just
be
made
honest
my
with you.
objection.
But
First off-
what it boils down to is they're here tonight. Just get to the point of permission to put trailers on there, and then they'll still have to go through the proper inspection process for Ascension Parish. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to object to it because it just puts too much other things next to my property. This is doing nothing but devaluating my property. But the only refuge I have now from other trailers and all that are there is to get into my backyard. You put another trailer on the side and back, they're going to be right there. There's going to be additional commotion, additional noise, I'm sure. And if the rule that you have now state that they shouldn't be there, I'm assuming these rules were set up for a reason. And I'm asking you to consider this reason and not allow this to happen.
Yes, there is a rule that exists. Okay, I'm going to be let me explain it to you this way. The reason why this board exists, there are rules, and then we have the right to alleviate some of those rules if we deem it's necessary or it's practical. Because a lot of situations, like you have people that had just put themselves in a bond, they didn't mean to, but they did, then yes, I'm not, of course, you understand what I'm saying.
Of course,
is
yeah.
We have the right to overturn that.
Well, I
that rule.
understand that. That's why we're having this
Okay.
hearing. I understand.
That's correct, but they still have to maintain all the other rules that apply: the sewage, the water, the driveway, the whole 9 yards. It's not as if they'll be eliminated of all responsibilities by moving 2 trailers in, if we decide, if this board decides. Okay?
Yes, I understand that.
Okay. I just want to make...
Oh, yeah. Oh, no,
I don't want you to
it's not
misunderstand what
concrete
we're
that
here
You have
for.
the right to amend it if you want to. I'm
Right. That's correct.
presenting the side that I would rather it didn't be amended.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All righty.
Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Mark Mayer. I have a letter from the lady who lives south of this site in the greenhouse that y'all were referring to on the map. She could not be here due to her work. And if you would allow me, I would like to read the letter that she prepared.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I think it's more important than what I have to say than if you would allow me to say what I have to say. Then.
She sent you as a representative?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Her name is Miss Stacy. She lives in the greenhouse next door, south of the site. She says it's dated April 20th, 2007. It says, "To whom that it may concern, I live at 12306 Palmer Road in Gonzales, Louisiana. I met and spoke with the new lady who was going to move there soon, but I was not aware that there were going to be 2 trailers to be moved on the lot next to me instead of 1. I think moving 2 trailers on the lot is hazardous, and where would they park? I disagree about the 2 trailers. I only think 1 trailer is okay." And she signs her name and places her phone number and says, "Sorry, I can't be there."
May I see that letter, please, sir?
Yes, sir.
Not that I don't trust you, okay? Don't get it?
Oh, no.
Okay. I'd just like to see.
Yes.
I'm going to pass this down. Cool. And I'm glad you brought that because it's kind of hard when people get up here and explain to us that this is what he said, she said kind of thing.
Right.
Really can't go with that, and it's a good idea that you did bring that letter.
Right. She couldn't be here because of her work.
Is that your full statement, sir?
For Miss Stacy, yes.
Yes.
I have
So
my own.
you have your own statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you go ahead and make that statement?
Yes, sir. Again, I'm Mark Mayer, and I live approximately 1,000 feet from the site, northwest of the site. I've been living there 19 years. I pass this site every day. I'm opposed to exceeding the maximum residential density in a medium-density residential district. 2 dwellings on less than a half an acre is what we're talking about. It just doesn't fit the landscape of the area. And there's no grandfathering sites that exist in the area that I'm aware of. Additional vehicles, pedestrian traffic, additional sewer runoff. In the summertime, when it heats up, the smell of raw sewage is already in the neighborhood. DHA's concerns, depreciation of the property value, to lower the quality of life in the neighborhood. That's all concerns that we all have. And a key thing is the property was recently purchased, and the property is vacant. There's been some discussion. The property is vacant and it was recently purchased. So no dwellings presently exist at this lot. My personal belief is that the person who purchased the property should have checked the zoning requirements before they purchased the lot. I mean, nobody forced them to purchase this lot, and now they're in a situation where they had to come before the board to present this. The applicant obviously could have bought at a different site that would allow them to put 2 dwellings and meet the zoning requirements. That wasn't done. And like everything, ignorance of the law and the codes that are in place is no excuse. The lot still can be sold, and she could find a more suitable site. That's the way I feel about it. The board and homes are valued anywhere from $250,000 to $120,000. and I'm sure that if 2 trailers were allowed to be placed there, would depreciate the value of those homes immediately adjacent to it and within the neighborhood. And I just asked, just to think about the adjacent neighbors. Would you want to have that in your neighborhood?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else like to speak in favor of or against this young lady's request?
My name is Priscilla Simon. I live at 12347 Palmer Road. I've been there 39 years, and it is single-family home dwellings. We would like to keep it that way. We enjoy having neighbors, but we feel like 2 trailers would bring more cars, first of all, to be parked, and the road is not big enough to even park on the side of the road. It would also, like the gentleman before me said, you have other things, that the sewage, the water runoff, and we just feel like we don't want that in the neighborhood. Not 2 trailers on that smaller piece of property.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else like to speak in favor of or against this young lady's request? No one. Close public hearing.
So moved.
Public hearing is now closed. Any further questions by these?
I'd like to speak.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up public hearing. Public hearing. I'm going to allow this one else, but the last you got a chance for rebuttal, ma'am. You got. I'm going to give you 5 minutes of rebuttal time. Go ahead, ma'am. State your name.
Sandra Landry. I live in the house immediately to the north. I think probably my property is going to be most affected by this. I've never come to one of these meetings before. I have nothing against the lady who bought the property. I do not know her. This isn't against her. It's against what my life will change if this happens. I've lived in this house 20 years, and not having come before, I have endured 2 horses there. I have endured the car lot. I have endured cars parked there and let weeds grow 4 feet over them. I am grateful to the lady who mowed the yard. It's the first time it's been mown in 3 years, the back part of it behind the trailer. But another trailer there on that tiny property. There will have to be a well dug because there's not one there now. We'll have to put in a sewage treatment system. All this makes noise. I don't know what kind of cars we have, what kind of equipment will be brought in there. There is a falling down barn in the back of it that had for a very long time, and I do not know if it does now, old car batteries that sat there. I'm very concerned about that because they may indeed be leaching into the ground some of the acid and into our wells, which we do have. My only privacy now, and many of the people's, is their backyards. And this I will lose if another trailer is put there. Where the one is they put on the front, it isn't so bad because it doesn't really affect, I don't see it in the backyard. The people that were there pretty much lived in the front and made no noise. It affected the neighbors more so than it did me. But now I will have absolutely no privacy in my backyard if this second trailer is moved in there. I don't think there's room, and I think it will greatly affect our quality of life. There will be 2 air conditioner compressors running now instead of 1. There'll be more additional garbage cans sitting at the road. All these things we don't think about. And as the other gentleman said, the extra sewage treatment flowing in my front ditch will be unbearable. What is there now isn't very good. Most of us who've lived there for a very long time have septic tanks that were grandfathered in. These new places all have to build these that drain in our front ditches, and it's most unpleasant, and it does attract flies and other things. I generally really wish you'd listen to us because we've been there a long time, and this will greatly affect not only our property values, but our way of life.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, close public hearing.
So moved.
Public hearing is now closed again. Any further questions from any of the board members at this time? Okay, before I want to give her a chance for rebuttal. Ma'am, could you step back up to the podium, please? I'm sorry, Miss Elizabeth. And I'm going to give you a chance for rebuttal. Maybe you can answer some of their questions or what you...
Actually, no. Since the beginning, since I bought the property, you're right, I didn't have to buy that property. I'm not going to sell it like you've been asking me for. Miss Tracy has been giving me very good references of the lady that just stepped out.
Don't use any names, ma'am. I'm not going to get into a verbal confrontation.
I understand, but I have tried very hard. I was going to clean completely that lot and destroy everything from there and actually put a fence all around. One of the mobile homes, they're both 2 bedrooms. One of them is a 16 by 80, which it was going to be on the back, and the other one is very small. That's the one where my son lives, which it was going to be on the front. That one is extremely small mobile home. But don't worry about it. I guess since I purchased this land, everybody was already attacking me from before, but I quite didn't believe that they will say that because I was Mexican, that they would not allow me to do that. But it's okay. I'm still not going to sell the land, so don't ask me to sell it to you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am. Any further questions by this board? Do I have a motion on
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a couple comments. The parish, with the parish, we started granting variances to alleviate hardship where a lot of it came about right after the storm, where there was a genuine existing hardship. There was existing residents, had a disabled family member or something like that, and we were trying to alleviate hardship. In that this land has no structure on it, and there's no hardship here to be alleviated is my point. And one of the things we try not to do, one of our standards is we can't address a self-inflicted hardship. I mean, if someone does this to themselves, that's something that's out of our purview. So for that reason, I cannot, in good conscience, support this.
That's a statement, or is this
that's just a statement. I just wanted to say that because we're trying to alleviate existing hardship, and there is no dwelling on there. There's an empty lot that someone wants to put 2 dwellings on, which is a whole different perspective from what we're trying to do previously with this type of situation. So I just wanted to say that.
Do I have a motion on the floor?
I'll make the motion to deny because there's no existing dwelling there, and we'd be creating a situation that doesn't have to exist by granting this, and I think we'd also be granting a special privilege because, again, there's not an existing structure there, and 2, it would appear that there's no unique use or circumstance where the land could not be used. So I cannot in good conscience make a motion for this. I have to make a motion against it because it would be granting special privilege if we did it.
I'm going to second his motion, and I just want to reiterate that we listen to for and against. Every motion there's going to be a winner and there's going to be someone who feels like they've lost. We try to be very fair and even, though, and when people speak for or against, I hope that everyone can recognize that everybody has their own personal needs, and it's really not a personal affront to anyone. And we don't do it personally either when we either vote for or against something. We're trying to take into consideration the overall effect that it has on Ascension Parish. So I will second the motion.
Okay, we got a motion to deny as written. We also have a second by Miss Kathy Desider. Any opposition? No opposition. Motion carries. Variance is denied. She's not here. Next on the agenda tonight is 1702.07, Lot C, for Thomas and Allison Murphy. It's located on the west side of Martin Myers Road, approximately 400 feet south of LA Highway 621.
It's Mumfree.
Huh?
Mumfree.
Mumphrey. Sorry. I was just corrected, yeah. I have a tendency of tearing up names. Or go ahead and come up and sign in, sir, and approach the podium and state your name.
My name is Thomas Mumphrey.
Go ahead, sir.
And here to allow a variance for my son to put a trailer on my land, which has my house on it already. Plus, when I bought it, it had basically a mother-in-law house, which my wife's uncle had his mother-in-law living in, which when we purchased the land, my wife's sister was already living in it, and she's still living in it today. But we're wanting to put a trailer on the land also for my son.
Any questions?
I don't think you can allow 3 residences on one lot.
It's a little over an acre. It's an acre and a fifth.
I don't think it's allowable to have 3
You can do that, period.
It's a small 20 by 20 mother-in-law.
It still doesn't matter.
I don't think they can grant that variance.
If my wife maybe lived in a doghouse, it would still classified as 2 residents, okay?
I don't think we can grant that variance.
We can't even go there. I don't
even with over an acre of land?
No.
It's one lot.
No, not if it's zone 6.
No, that's not even. I'm kind of shocked that this made it this far.
You can't grant that variance.
No, we have. There's just nothing we can do with this. This board can't even hear it. You agree? Do you agree?
You can't grant it. You can't put a third
Okay.
home on a single family.
Board members understand that legal's informed us that we cannot even hear this case.
He could technically split the lot.
You can do that.
Yeah, but that's not tonight.
Right, could split the lot and do it.
Go back to the. I'm not going. No, I can't go there. I can't even tell him how to do it.
But he can.
You can. If you can, I can't suggest.
What you could possibly do is you could possibly petition planning and zoning, go back to planning and zoning and petition to split a lot, depending on where those residences are located. If you've got 1 acre, you could get 2 lots out of it, and then perhaps you can pursue. Probably have a better chance if you're trying to put something on your own lot where you live.
Thank you.
Is that kind of like a family partition?
Yeah, it would be a family partition.
Right. If you wanted to do.
But I'm not sure that you can give a family partition to.
Son, isn't it?
Well, but he wouldn't be giving it to his son in this case.
He'd be giving
He'd
it to
probably
the
be giving it to
sister.
his sister.
Well, the
Maybe
wife's
his
sister.
sister-in-law.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how that works.
We're going to carry on because we're not even supposed to be listening to this case. I just did that simply because that I want to make sure that you understand there are alternatives, but I'm not allowed to tell you there's alternatives. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda tonight is 1703.07. That's lot 110 River Ridge subdivision for David and Tracy Duncan. Located on the north side of Waterford Lane, approximately 300 feet east Tuscany Lane. Go ahead, sign in, sir.
My name's David Duncan, and we're requesting a change in the variance for the setback on the rear of the lot from 20 feet back to 5 feet from the property line.
Any questions by the board members? Go ahead, sir.
I'm real concerned about drainage servitudes and things like that. Are there any on the backside or on that side of the lot?
The back side of the lot is, there's a man-made lake facility that the property drains into.
So
That sets back about 12 to 15 feet from the property line.
So there's a lake on the north side of your property?
Correct.
What about on the west side?
I don't know which way is west there.
If you're facing your house from Majestic Lane, it would be the left side.
The left side, there's a house, there's a lot there. They did not provide a plot plan lot there.
Well, it doesn't show the surrounding properties. It only shows your plot of land. But there's no drainage servitude on that side either.
No. Can I show you this?
Sure.
By all means, bring forward.
Which lot is yours? Okay, so you've got this is a lake area coming in here.
Gotcha.
Drainage. He says 110 right here.
Which lot is closest to where he's putting it? 'Cause I know it's on the side.
That'd have to be 109.
109. So he's probably putting it.
Probably in that corner there where the little pen mark is, right?
That's perfect. It's got that odd shape problem.
Yeah, but it didn't show the lake and everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, let's go ahead and open up public hearing, please.
So moved.
Public hearing is now open. Anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of or against this gentleman's request? Close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Public hearing is now closed. Any further questions by the board members?
Sir, I'd like to know what you plan on using this building for.
Hobby shop. Hobby storage shop.
No occupancy.
No, no.
Any more questions?
So you're going to meet the side yard, you're just asking for the rear yard?
I'm sorry?
You're going to meet the side yard requirements,
Yes, ma'am.
you're just asking for the rear?
Yes, ma'am.
And the side's 5 also.
Oh, okay.
Probably going to find 5.
Any further questions?
Now I'll make a motion to approve due to the odd shape of the lot size, and that this is somewhat the best place to put it.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to accept as written. We also have a second. Any opposition? No opposition. Motion carries. Variance is granted, sir. All right. Next on the agenda is 1704.07 for Lewis and Shelley Sanchez, located on the north corner of LA 74 and Cary Lane. Did you sign in, ma'am?
I'm Shelley Sanchez, and I have something that I can present.
Yes, ma'am. By all means, if you have additional information, that's fine. Bring it forward. Ms. Desideer, could you keep that letter for me, please, ma'am? Thank you.
What we're asking for is a 20-foot variance on Highway 74 for the front of the building. We first attempted to do it from the side. We want an overhang where the y'all granted us that we could do the child care there, but in the past I came before y'all and that was allowed. But then what we're trying to do is have an overhang where the parents could actually drive under when there's bad weather. And we've played with it every which way we could and been talking to Miss June all along the way. But what would have been optimal to me, or the best, would be if we could have did it from the side. But from the side road of Cary, there was a servitude that came all the way up to about 2 feet from the building. One even cuts through the building. And so there's a tremendous amount of land that I can't use from Cary side of the road. And so that only leaves the 74 side, the front of 74 to come out with, to have an overhang for the vehicles to drive through. And if you look at the last sheet, you can see where we'll have some parking on the side, where if anybody wants to just walk in the children to the front door. But then, we would like that drive-through, especially on rainy days. And we're asking for 20 foot, and that would give us a 13 feet 8 inches wide, the drive-through. That particular area was an area that was really down area, it wasn't it was old area, I guess I should say. And there's several subdivisions coming up now. And we just want to make a presence, that I don't want it to be a building that just looks like it's been halfway renovated, I would like it to make a statement for the area that's coming up.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Any questions by the board members?
I've got a question.
By all means.
You currently, according to this plat, there's an existing gravel driveway parallel to Highway 74.
That's
there
correct.
in front of the cinder block building. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Because my concern is, you've got a very nice drawing here, and you're showing the traffic would turn in from 74 to Cary Lane and then turn around in more of a storage fashion to come into the front thing. But what I'm concerned is going to happen is people will try to make a left turn off Highway 74, then want to make an immediate, make a right turn off 74, make an immediate left turn, and it's back up on 74.
I'm concerned about that too, because I live on Harold Road, and further down or towards Snows on 74 is Tanya's daycare, and anytime the rain starts, they wound up with an accident there because of people having to come to like a complete stop to turn in that driveway and all. So I can't put a permanent structure there because of what's all the servitudes and everything. But one of the things that the architect suggested, and especially until we at our busy times, is like if I got a couple of even 3 fairly large plants that I can wheel away in the evening, but I could put them where it sort of blocks them coming straight from 74, because I do not want them coming straight from 74. That's really why I want it on the side, but I couldn't even ask y'all for it on the side of the building, again because of servitudes and such.
You can't have the architect make it where it's a right turn only lane going in there. Make it more of with a kind of like a high median. In other words, where you can only come from that direction. In other words, you really couldn't make a left turn into there.
Yes, sir. I mean, yes, sir. She'd be glad to work with that. She, because she understood that was my number one issue.
When you have the curve there, that's inviting them to go that way. But, like, for example, Highland Road getting into Popeyes, that way that drive's done like that, where you can only come from one direction on Highland Road to turn in there.
I know what
you can't make a left into there.
We'll be glad to do that.
Something to that similar.
Because my son actually was in an accident, what I'm talking about at Tanya's, but it happens all the time when it's raining, so I do not want him stacking on 74 at all. So I'll be glad to do such a thing.
So if you make the motion, that'd be a condition.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent idea.
That's
Because this is a lot nicer than Brady's Bar.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and that's, that whole area is coming up like that, and that's what I wanted to, be conducive to the area.
Any other further questions before we open up public hearing?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Is there anything you need to do with DOTD to do this? Since it is on Highway 74?
Not that I'm aware of,
Okay.
but I mean, I know that we have to go to the, before I can get the permit from the parish to start building, we have to go to the fire marshal. I know that's the next step after this.
Actually, the one entrance we're talking about would come off of Cary Lane. It'd be more Parish. But the other one, you'd have to get state approval for the culvert and the driveway on that other one for 74.
We don't have to add any culverts.
Okay.
You already have a culvert there.
There's already
an existing
culverts
driveway.
that will be in use.
We got
Existing
existing
culverts.
gravel driveway.
Yeah, just has to go to fire marshal.
Yeah. Any further questions? Okay. And
You got to open it to public comment.
Motion open public comment.
Second.
public comment period is now open. Anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of or against this young lady's request? Close it.
Motion to close public hearing.
Public hearing is now closed. Well, this is going good.
Make a motion.
Go ahead with the motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this with the condition that the front driveway is modified so that they can only take a right-hand turn from Cary. Is that Cary Lane?
Yes.
Correct.
Well, with you nodding your head, now you're telling me that you're in agreement with this. That's
Oh,
correct?
yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be glad. Like I said, my son was in an accident due to
Okay, but
nothing to do
I
with
just
him,
want,
and I don't want
this is a
accidents
stipulation of the
of
request.
of the approval.
Right.
I understand.
And also maybe post a sign that no left turn right there before they get in. You know, along with the modification of that, that should take care of people not
Yeah,
making a
and then
left
I
turn in
wouldn't-
there.
Like I said, I wouldn't even have to be moving plants. I was trying something that was going to be, but that makes much more sense.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion with the stipulations that was just previously mentioned. And we also have a second. Any opposition? No opposition. Motion carries with the condition that the no left-hand turn.
Yes, sir.
Motion carries. Approved.
Okay, thank y'all very much.
Next on the agenda tonight is Lot 29, Silverstone Estates for Gary and, what is it? Excuse me? Marjorie Mock, located on the north side of Silverstone Avenue, approximately 530 feet east of Duplessis Road.
My name is Gary Mock. I live at 15077 Silverstone Avenue. What I'm requesting today is I'm requesting a side and setback variance of my property to construct a slab and garage and motorhome port to be placed 8 feet from the backside property line and 3 feet from my side, north side property line. This will allow the building to be 3 feet inside of my fenced backyard, and 12 feet 6 from the center of the back ditch, and 12 feet from the center of the north side ditch.
That was on the back ditch was
12.6. My property actually stops at the edge of the ditch, and the center of the ditch then is about 8.5 feet. I have a Google Earth map.
Excuse me?
I have a Google Earth map.
We have that.
Okay.
We have it. Any questions by the board members?
This is 3,200 square feet or a little bit better?
Yes, ma'am.
Any further questions? I'm going to open up public hearing. If
It
not,
looks like it's bigger than your house.
It is. My house is actually 2,300. Well, not including the storage shed and carport.
What are you going to use this building for?
I'm going to have part of it's going to be motorhome port, and I have a race car trailer. We drag race and garage.
It's not a variance for the size of this building on square footage.
I've seen this before.
yeah,
I would think it would be a size requirement.
I think it's going to get by that because it's not what you call an occupied structure. It's a utility structure. Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. It's a utility structure.
Is it heated and cooled? Is it heated and cooled?
A portion of it will be, yes. I'm going to have a small portion of it, 800 square feet.
Does it have a restroom in it?
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and open up public hearing, please.
So moved.
Brad.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. You have a seat, please, sir. Anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of or against this gentleman's request? No one? Close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Public hearing now closed. How do you, please step back up, please. I'm kind of a little uncomfortable on the legalities of this.
I hate to admit, I have not seen this before. I've got a few questions also.
That's why I would, even though this gentleman just came out tonight, and legal kind of helped me out here simply because I think this needs to go back for staffing to take a look at this.
I mean, I can postpone until next month.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking for a postpone, and the reason for this is, and sir, by all means, don't feel that I'm going to disapprove or approve anything. Simply, I'm just postponing it because I don't feel comfortable. You've got heating and air conditioning. You've got a bathroom in it. You got 800 square feet. What you're saying is heated and air conditioned, and a bathroom in it.
Well, my issue is the 3 feet from the property line without any kind of photos of anything. Only Google Earth, which is outdated half the time.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that usually this is addressed by staff, and this is usually carried, requested that they kind of give us, or better yet, I'll take a drive out there and take a look at it myself.
I've had the property surveyed and posted prior to this, so if you wanted to make the site visit. If you notice on my one drawing I provided, we've been in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission, had a servitude removed from the center of the property. We've been with this since August. Not trying to.
Oh no, I understand. Believe me.
If you look at the
kind of let me have a guy, because I'm telling you, I'm a little confused on this.
Okay, if you look at the orientation of the lot, maybe it'll help Brad with the side variance of the 3 feet. It's in the corner on the north side, on the Google map. Actually, it's much larger than that. If you look at the 3 foot from the edge of the driveway, it actually goes and maybe 3 foot 6 inches, the side variance. After I had it surveyed, it's actually further on the back side. So the side variance may not be as accurate on the back side as it is at the very front because of the angle and shape, size, and dimension of the lot. 20 by 40 of that is going to be used for just parking my race car trailer and motorhome, but it is going to be part of the covered structure. If that helps you, it is going to be attached to the rest of it.
Well, I'm going to put this on staff here, okay?
Evidently, this has gone on, and as he said, this has gone on since August. When was the last time you?
Go ahead, sir.
Since I'm new, when was the last time there was some action by staff taken on this?
2 months ago, we were here for the 10-foot servitude to be revoked down the center of the property, and then we missed the last session when I submitted the plans to my building. I was under the impression that my property line was the center of the ditch, like I was told when we bought it. We didn't have it actually surveyed. They actually came back and said, no, Mr. Mock, your property doesn't go to the center of the ditch. So we had it resurveyed and found out that it's actually the edge of the ditch. So that's why we're here today, is because the building we want to put is less than the setback variance. And no ignorance on my own part. We thought property boundaries were.
You're about like me, sir, right now. I'm a little confused, okay? Staff, we don't have to postpone this. We can act on it if you feel. I'm throwing this out because I'm making a personal comment that I feel uncomfortable on this.
We have submitted our drawings prior to the parish.
Right, and he's already went through the planning and zoning.
It's already been through planning and zoning. I knew that they had removed an easement. However, this is the first I've seen anything about the building on it. And they approved the actual building design. The only thing they did at the permitting department, it was simply because it encroached into the
setback inside.
lines.
That's where we're at today.
Evidently, it meets it.
Well, then,
It's your decision on
there's no
setback lines.
Well, there's no use to postpone it.
I do have a caution. The only caution is he's asking for a 12-foot variance from the back, and there's a 7.5-foot drainage servitude on the rear of that property. So if he cannot even cross that 7.5 feet with anything.
Oh, no, from the back of my fence to the edge of the ditch is 8 feet. Then I still have 3 feet on the inside of my fence, will be the building line.
Yeah. So.
Okay. As long as they understand.
Everything will be contained inside of my fence that is currently there, and the back of my fence is
as far as public comments. We're not looking at any oppositions.
No.
And it has went through the planning and zoning. The building has been approved. With that, I guess let's go ahead and continue on.
Do we have any, did you bring the plans for the building or anything?
No, sir, I did not.
Are there any walls on the 3-foot side, like any windows, I mean?
No, sir. That's where the motorhome port and the race car port is. It's going straight off the driveway, be able to put the motorhome and race car trailer straight off the driveway. So that everything will be behind my home, basically, the other 60 by...
What materials is it going to be made of?
It's going to be a metal building with a brick front. It's going to be a very attractive...
I just want to make sure there was some type of firewall on that side if somebody tends to want to build on lot 54.
There is a home there on 54, and Miss Jan, she was unable to come tonight, but she was Jan Bello.
Yeah,
I showed her a
letters were
letter
sent
from her,
out.
but she's- the sign's been in my front yard for 2.5 weeks, and so
Well,
I've
if
spoken
you're
with all my
saying
neighbors.
you've been working on this since August, I think the 2.5 week is a moot point. Okay.
Yes, sir. All my neighbors are, in favor of it.
Okay. Well, obviously, if not, they would have been here tonight and been in opposition. Do we have any further questions by the board? No, the public hearing is closed.
I think the Google Map drawing is making me think it's bigger than what it is. This little square you drew on the Google Map, is this the actual size of the building?
No, sir, that's a fenced backyard.
That's the fenced yard.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
different.
Yeah, that's the actual fenced backyard. No, it's...
Stop.
Well, again, I would comment, look at the Google map. The people to the right, which would be lot 54, their house is set at an angle, so it's not like it's going to be jammed up. That's a corner back there. And the other lots have corners coming up there as well. And is that a drainage servitude that runs down to the right of your property?
Yes, sir. And it's 12 feet from the edge of my property to the center of the drainage servitude.
So you got servitude on the north side and on the east side?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think it's got proper drainage. There's no doubt about that.
Well, that's also going to prevent anybody from building up.
I have a question. You said there's 8 foot outside of the fence, and then you're going to put it 3 foot inside of the fence?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's 11 feet,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I guess on here somewhere where I was reading that it was going to be placed 8 foot from the back. But you're actually going to place it 11 feet from the back?
It does say 8 foot placed in the original application, you're right.
And that's what concerned me about
From the
servitude.
From the back, it must be 5 feet behind my fence then. It's 8 feet from the back of the building to my fence line, or to the end of my property. From where we're going to put the building, there's 12.5 feet from the back of my fence to the center of the ditch.
So you're supposed to be 20 foot from the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the rear is supposed to be how much?
That is the rear.
No, I'm sorry, the side.
5 feet.
I probably really wouldn't have a problem with the side yard setback. It's the rear yard that I think we're all having a problem with. Could you amend that?
I could amend it maybe a foot. I mean, this building's been on hold now. If I shrink the building, it's going to be a very large financial bind. I can't bring it any closer to my home. I can bring it maybe a foot closer to my home. I'm still going to be within 3 feet inside of my fence with the entire building. And my fence, like I said, is I'm not sure if it's 5 or 8 feet from my actual end of my property.
See, but it's still in the drainage servitude, and that's what I'm concerned about. I represent the drainage board. You know,
No,
nothing.
sir. Not even close.
I'm looking at your lot. It
Okay.
says you have a 7.5-foot servitude on the rear of your property. That's a drainage servitude. I don't know what's out there, but I can tell you from the lot line, if you're using your lot, you have a 7.5-foot servitude on that rear 7.5 feet.
Yes, sir.
And you cannot even let an overhang go into that servitude.
Right.
That I just.
I'm going to be approximately 6 inches to a foot off of that 7.5-foot servitude minimum.
With your slab or your roof?
With the slab.
See, that's
You
we're talking
can't have
roof.
an
We're talking about roof overhang.
That's what I
Roof
keep trying
can't
to
stick
explain
over
to you.
that.
If you go in there, we're gonna tell you one day maybe to take that thing down. That's what I'm.
Well, on the back of the building, it only has a 2-inch overhang.
Oh, but the point is, we don't know whether it's 2 foot or 2 inches
Oh,
or
I'm
2
sorry.
feet.
Yeah, it only has a 2-inch overhang on the backside. You know, so I'll still be 8 feet, roughly 8 feet,
Yeah.
8.5 feet. From
It cannot encroach on any servitude.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Exactly. We'll still be within, I'm going to say 8 inches to a foot and a half away from the servitude.
Is that clear, legal?
Yeah, as long as he understands it. 'Cause
Okay. I just want to make sure that maybe. Okay. Okay. Do we have any other further questions?
Well, I would like to make mention it would have been helpful if staff had appraised us of the course this has been taken and the fact that we'd had this had been before the zoning and planning people. That would have been useful information. I think we have an opportunity here to better coordinate this type of request, don't you?
I agree with you. I think we should. And just I know things get hectic and you can't be everywhere at all the time. But there again.
Right.
Understood. We could have avoided a lot of this, and he could have avoided a lot of the time since August.
It's been a
round and round.
It's been a learning experience for us.
I'm going to apologize to you, sir, me personally.
I would just question why the revoking of the servitude and the abandonment of passage.
Do we have any further questions, comments?
What was the question?
Mr. Brad?
No, I'm good.
We have a motion on the floor.
We do?
Do we have a motion on the floor? If you have a comment or concern, now's the time to.
No, I'm good.
You fine now? You fine? Okay. Okay. Any other questions or concerns? Mr. Ezadir? No?
No.
Mr. Dalton?
No. Thank you.
Okay, I'm still looking for a motion.
It's just bigger than the house
Well, I
in
mean,
a small neighborhood.
Well, Mr. Chairman,
What's the closest place that would have some
like another house that would have something to that size?
On Oakley, maybe 6 or 8 houses away. Doesn't show it on my Google map. If you come in from the bottom of the Google map, the left side, and you follow the curve around where the road to the swimming pool is, down that road on the right-hand side.
You still calling for a motion?
Yes, I'm still calling for a motion. But,
Okay, here goes. I just want to tell you, I don't like it because of the size. It's bigger than the house. But knowing that it's a utility function, and I'm concerned about that because it's got heating and air conditioning in it, but it's been through zoning and planning, and that's why I think it would have been helpful if we'd have known about this sooner.
The only issue before planning and zoning is the revocation of servitude.
Sure.
That's the only thing that planning and zoning has done is revoke.
Well, all it's gone through evidently at this point, and what he's talking about, he's gone in to get a building permit.
Right, exactly. And what we're doing
I
is
would have never even thought
we're
about
just
it because
giving
there's
him
hundreds of them every day.
We're just giving him the variance to go get his building permit.
And for that reason, because it's a utility function and knowing that you can go pretty close to property lines or setbacks with building functions, and taking what you're saying in good faith that it's not for occupancy, that it is for storage of a motor home and whatnot, I have to make a motion that we approve it because I can't justify not approving it. But I want you to understand I'm not particularly wild about this, but to grant you the best use of your land, I'm going to step up and make the motion that we approve it as written with the stipulation that you cannot encroach on any servitudes, even with an overhang. That's got to be clearly understood. I'm sure you do.
That's going to be covered in the building permit.
That's my motion. Now let's see if we get a second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll go ahead and reluctantly second it, but to be quite honest, I wouldn't want it in my backyard. But since none of your neighbors have come to speak out against it, we run into this all the time, that once something is built, if you have done anything wrong whatsoever, look out, because your neighbors are going to come after it.
But still, he still has to go through the building process. And, anyhow, I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to make a comment on that. We have a motion to accept as written. We also have a second. Any opposition? No opposition. No. Motion carries. Variance is granted, sir. Thank you. Next on the agenda is to adjourn.
Can we get an update on staff since Ms. June and Lance?
Excuse me?
Can we just get an update of our support staff? Like who they are?
Yes.
Like X?
Like now.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can you give us an update on the planning and zoning department, like since Lance is gone and Ms. June's not here tonight, what the status
Lance is not officially gone yet. We're still working back and forth, and the deal closed Monday. And we'll start interviewing, or they will start interviewing the next probably the next week or so to fill that position. We have a contingency plan in the meantime.
Okay.
Lance is gone?
No, he's not gone. He's switching, he's moving out of planning and zoning and going over to IT, TV guys, all the internet-related stuff.
Okay.
Miss June is staying, right?
Yes.
I think we all love her, so she want an update on.
Actually, she's moving more.
Oh, don't you start on me.
Into the floodplain management.
We love you too, dear.
In fact, she's not leaving tomorrow for a floodplain management conference. We're both getting certified to handle that.
Okay.
She'll be doing more of that. Patrice will be working more with this group.
I just noticed a couple of issues this time around for this meeting, so that's why, like, one of them, the daycare one, didn't have the notes about the previous adjustment in it and things like that.
Got back in town today. They've been off on a conference also.
Okay.
Okay.
The second, this particular issue, because it was just raised going through to get a building permit, there's no way I would have been notified, or he either, probably.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Got a motion to adjourn, gentlemen?
I'll second.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
He seconded. Any opposition? No opposition? We are now adjourned.
Night,
is